In recent years, we've seen the anime industry bring back a lot of older shows. Just in the last few years, we've seen the return of Rumiko Takahashi's 80s works like Ranma 1/2 and Urusei Yatsura. But we also see more modern works being remade, like Spice and Wolf. And while it's cool to bring back a lot of older shows to reintroduce them to a modern audience with updated visuals and animations, or in the case of Spice and Wolf, a chance to actually finish it, for me personally, I never quite know how to feel about these remakes. Which is why today I want to talk to you about two newly announced remakes that will be coming in 2025, that I'm both looking forward to, but also I'm a bit worried about. Namely Cat's Eye and Anne Shirley. So let's just get started. Alright, so up first let's talk about the Cat's Eye remake. For those that don't know, Cat's Eye is an 80s manga created by City Hunter author Tsukasa Hojo. This Lupin-inspired work tells the story of the three Kisugi sisters, Hitomi, Rui, and Ai, who work as innocent cafe workers by day. But come night, they become the infamous art thief known as Cat's Eye. But they don't just steal any art. They steal art that belonged to their long-lost father, Michael Hines, in the hopes that he will contact them or they will find some clue as to where he is hiding. However, there is someone who's constantly chasing Cat's Eye and trying to arrest them. That's Detective Toshio Utsumi, the fiancé of Hitomi, and someone who has dedicated his life to the arrest of Cat's Eye. If only he knew how close he was to actually catching them. So for those of you who have watched this channel for a while, you'll know that I'm a fan of Cat's Eye. I watched the original 1980s anime back in 2017 and quite enjoyed it. It's not quite City Hunter levels of good, but as a guy who enjoys Lupin heists, Cat's Eye certainly delivered on that front. So seeing this get a remake is something I'm a little bit excited about. Mostly because if there's one obvious thing to improve upon from the first anime, it's the animation quality. The 80s Cat's Eye is fun, but the animation is definitely not his strong suit. Now it's perfectly acceptable for the most part, but not great. That's something a modern remake can easily fix. However, there is one thing that's going to be really difficult to fix, and that is the story. The ending to the anime is honestly bad. That final episode feels so out of left field, and it doesn't even attempt to answer the question about what happened to and where their long-lost father is. So there's definitely room for improvements here. However, sadly, this kind of falls true for the manga as well. That stuff just doesn't really ever get touched on to a satisfying degree. So if they're gonna want to fix that, we would kinda need to get an anime original ending. And I don't exactly have a lot of faith in those. Now, they could still choose to just not really touch on it and instead just focus on faithfully adapting the manga, which has a different ending to the anime. It still wouldn't be fully satisfying, but it would probably be the best option. Also, with the teaser they dropped on YouTube, they also showed off part of the opening song for the new anime. And unsurprisingly, they're also taking the opportunity to give us a modern cover of Anri's song Cat's Eye, that was the opening for the original anime. I mean, it makes sense to bring it back, it's quite iconic. However, this new version will be sung by Ado. Part of me is a bit sad that they don't just use the original version, because it's still quite good in my opinion, but at the same time I'm not gonna be too sad. Ado is a great singer as well, that's also more popular with a modern audience, so in that regard it makes sense. The thing that surprised me the most about this remake is that it's gonna be streamed on Disney+. Now I'm not surprised because I think this show is too wild for Disney. It's definitely not even close to that. Cat's Eye is honestly quite tame. I'm more surprised because I didn't expect Disney to be behind a Cat's Eye remake. Then again, I feel like I would have said that almost no matter who would be airing this show. It is quite the unexpected remake, but not as unexpected as the next show. Also coming in 2025 is a show called Anne Shirley. Now, hearing that, you probably had one of two reactions. You either said, who? Or, what? So for those that don't know, Anne Shirley is an adaptation of a classic work by Canadian novelist Lucy Maud Montgomery. That's right, this is a modern anime adaptation of Anne of Green Gables. A fantastic coming-of-age story about an orphan girl named Anne Shirley who starts living at the Green Gables, and the goals and challenges she has to face in everyday life. So depending on how well versed you are in older anime, this might come as a surprise to you. But back in the day, Japan used to have a programming block called World Masterpiece Theater. Well, it's gone under many names and been shut down and brought back a few times, but that's besides the point. The point is that every year from 1969 to 1997, as well as 2007 to 2009, it would air animated adaptations of classic books or stories. This would include works like Johanna Spyri's Heidi, Girl of the Alps, Mark Twain's Adventures of Tom Sawyer, multiple fairy tales by Hans Christian Andersen, and most important of all, Tove Jansson's Moomin. Yes, I'm Scandinavian and grew up with Moomins, so I'm biased. But obviously most important for this video is that Anne of Green Gables was also part of this programming block back in 1979. And this show and programming block was the starting place for a lot of anime industry legends, such as Hayao Miyazaki and Isao Takahata of Ghibli fame, as well as Yoshiyuki Tomino of Gundam fame, all of which worked on Anne of Green Gables in 1979. In my opinion, this is the most surprising remake announcement I've seen recently, mostly because the original 1979 anime adaptation is honestly incredible, and I have no clue how they're going to improve on it. I mean, sure, they can adapt more of the original novel, that would be nice, but in terms of visuals, it's gonna be hard to improve it significantly. Now obviously the art style is something that's gonna throw any modern anime watcher off. It just looks old, so that's something that could benefit from a facelift. However, in terms of animation, the 79 version is honestly more than good enough. Because of the slice-of-life nature of the show, there isn't really a need for explosive animation, so the animation quality isn't exactly going to be that different in the new one. And besides, the animation of the 79 version is honestly just really good. The attention to detail is incredible. The thing I'm really worried about is the backgrounds for the new show. Modern anime tends to use CG to create backgrounds, or at least digital painting. Now, CG backgrounds don't have to look bad or anything, so I'm not going to prejudge them for this. However, one of the greatest selling points of the 79 anime is the backgrounds. I mean, just look at this. Obviously, these backgrounds are hand-painted using watercolor, and they look absolutely fantastic. You could take a random screenshot of a background and frame it and hang it on your wall. That's how beautiful they are. So obviously, that's what a modern remake has to compete with. Now, earlier I was browsing the show's official Twitter account. I saw that they had released a preview of some background work for the show, and honestly, it does look really good. I'm no art expert here, so I'm not going to go into what technique they are using. All I know is that it's at least not watercolor like the original 79 anime. However, I'm definitely satisfied by what I'm seeing. The worst thing they could have done was just slap some generic CG backgrounds together and called it a day. So it's good to see that they at least seem to be going out of their way to live up to the quality of the original backgrounds. Now, sadly, there hasn't been a lot released about this show just yet. There's some weekly updates on the show's official Twitter account, but no PVs or anything to really judge it by yet. This means that we don't really know much about the show as of right now. All we know about it is that it's being produced by the Answer Studio, who's previously worked on stuff like the second season of Tower of God, the City Hunter movie Angel Dust, Golgo 13 TV, and Flag. So yeah, not really much to work with. We also don't really know how long the anime is gonna be. The 79 version was 50 episodes, but I find it hard to believe that this new version will be that long. At least not 50 episodes released weekly. Anime has mostly gone away from that in recent times, so at best I would expect 2 seasons of 25 episodes. However they choose to do it, I just hope they actually do the whole thing. It would be pretty sad to see them do one season of like 12 to 25 episodes, and then see if there's enough interest in a second season, and just leave it at that. But whatever, this is all just speculation since we have nothing to go off. I choose to remain cautiously optimistic for now, and just pray that it's gonna be good. I really like Anne of Green Gables. Alright, so those are some of the new anime remakes that are coming in 2025 that I'm looking forward to. Well, I'm looking forward to them, but I'm also kind of worried about them. Because I like both Cat's Eye and Anne of Green Gables' original anime, so I just hope that their modern remakes will do them justice. But remakes are a tricky thing. They're easy to do because they already have a proven success, so there's less risk than adapting something new. I mean, that's pretty obvious since 95% of all anime are based on prior source material, but that can also lead to careless adaptations that are way worse than the original adaptation or original source. But for now, I'm choosing to remain optimistic. Let's see if that comes back to bite me in the ass later. And even if it does, we still have the original anime adaptations. Akage no Ann is incredibly good, and 80s Cat's Eye is at the very least a lot of fun. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe for more anime-related content from me. Also, let me know if you're planning on watching any of these 2 remakes, and if you've seen the original anime adaptations or read the source material for them. And with that, I'll see you next time. Peace!